Close your eyes right now. Don't skip this. In the darkness behind your eyelids, watch for a thin line of white light. It starts small, a pinprick. Then it grows, pulsing, alive. And from somewhere beyond thought, beyond time, a voice speaks. I am Poimandres. Open your eyes. What you just felt, that wasn't imagination. That was the oldest memory in your consciousness. The moment before, you forgot everything. And today, we're going to remember together. 2,000 years ago, a man named Hermes sat by the Nile at sunset and asked the question you've been asking your entire life. Who am I? Really, not the name, not the body, not the story, but the one watching the story, the one asking the question, the consciousness behind your eyes right now. And something answered him, not with words, with a vision, a download so complete, so devastating, so true that it's been hidden, mistranslated, and buried by every system that needs you to stay asleep. Because once you understand what Hermes saw, you can never be controlled the same way again. If you've ever felt like you're more than your body, more than your thoughts, more than this life, type I'm ready in the comments. Because what comes next will either confirm what you've always known or shatter everything you thought was real. Either way, there's no going back. First, the name, Poimandres. Say it slowly, Poimandres. Some call it shepherd of men, others, mind of light. The Egyptians connected it to Ra, the solar consciousness. But here's the truth beneath the translations. Poimandres isn't a being, it's a frequency. It's the moment when the cosmic mind makes contact with your mind, when the signal breaks through the noise. You know this frequency. You've felt it. That moment of sudden knowing. That flash of clarity where everything makes sense. That voice that speaks in complete truths without needing to think. That's Poimandres. That's the universe talking directly to you. And Hermes? He's not special. He didn't have abilities you don't have. He just learned how to listen. So right now, place yourself beside him. Ancient Egypt. The Nile reflecting the last light of day. The sound of water. The smell of papyrus. And a question burning in your chest. What am I? Pause for 5 seconds. Close your eyes again. Ask that question internally. What am I? Don't answer. Just ask. Feel what rises. That's the beginning. Do it now. Darkness. Total. Oppressive. The kind that makes you forget light ever existed. Hermes sits in this void. And it's not empty. It's full. Full of potential. Full of unborn forms. Full of chaos. Waiting to become cosmos. Then, without warning, a spark. Not like turning on a light. Like a sword cutting through fabric. Like reality being torn open. And behind that tear, order. The text calls this Nous. Capital N. Not your thinking mind. Not the voice in your head that won't shut up. Nous is the mind that sees. The cosmic intelligence that perceives everything simultaneously. The awareness that holds galaxies and atoms in the same glance. It's the eye that never closes. The consciousness that never sleeps. And the force that speaks this vision into form? Logos, Dori, the word. Not words, the word. The vibrational frequency that collapses infinite possibility into actual manifestation. Think of it like this. Nous is the camera recording reality. Logos is the narrator, giving it meaning. When they unite, when seeing and speaking become one, chaos transforms into cosmos. And you're the place where this happens. Have you ever had a moment where you saw something so clearly that it changed you? Where truth just downloaded into your awareness? That's Nous and Logos meeting in you. Comment what that moment was. Let's witness each other. Now the vision reveals structure. Reality isn't random. It's a ladder. At the top, pure consciousness. At the bottom, dense matter. And between them, 7 forces, the ancients called the governors. You know them as planets, but they're not rocks in space. They're patterns, cosmic principles that shape every single thing you do. Listen to their rhythm. The moon governs motion, the constant flux, the tides, your moods that wax and wane, the changes that never stop. You can't freeze time, but you can learn to flow with it. Mercury governs growth, the hunger to learn, the need to connect, the curiosity that brought you to this video, the restlessness that won't let you stay the same. Venus governs desire, not just sex, but the magnetic pull toward beauty, pleasure, connection, the force that makes you want. That creates longing. That generates the energy of pursuit. Mars governs passion, the fire, the warrior, the anger when boundaries are crossed, the courage to act, the aggression that builds or destroys. Jupiter governs expansion, the philosopher, the explorer, the optimist who believes there's always more, the faith that pushes beyond limits. Saturn governs limit, the teacher who says no, time itself, discipline, consequences, the reality check, the cosmic parent making you strong through difficulty. The sun governs will, your core, your essence, the life force, the hero's journey, the divine spark at the center of your being. These aren't controlling you. They're the weather. You can't stop winter, but you can prepare. You can't command the tide, but you can learn to surf. The governors set the music. You choose the dance. This is the design. This is the cosmic architecture. Mind to matter, spirit to form, consciousness descending through 7 layers, each one adding density, each one adding limitation, until the human arrives. And here's where everything changes. Here's where your story begins. Because you, listening right now, you were made with a double address. Part spirit, part matter, part sky, part earth. A bridge between worlds. Tilt up, you reflect the stars. Tilt down, you reflect the mud. And most of your life, you've been tilted down, drowning in the reflection, forgetting you're the mirror. But then, something happens. The human looks into the waters of nature and sees himself reflected, beautiful, glittering, alive. And in that moment, he falls. You've seen the vision, the architecture, the 7 forces that shape reality. But now, watch what happens to consciousness when it meets matter. Watch what happens when the watcher forgets he's watching. Watch what happens to you. Picture it, the human, standing at the threshold between spirit and matter, looks down into the waters. And the reflection looking back is stunning, more beautiful than anything in the realm of pure form. Because it has life, it has movement, It has sensation, and in that instant, love strikes. Not gentle love, not affection. Love like gravity, a force so powerful that choice disappears. You don't fall. You're pulled. Nature opens her arms. She welcomes you. She embraces you. And the moment you enter her waters, something terrible and wonderful happens. You forget. You forget you were ever standing above. You forget you had wings. You forget your divine address. You become the reflection. You trade the watcher for the watched. And the trap closes. Carl Jung called this projection. The Buddhists call it ignorance. The Gnostics call it the fall. Hermes just watched it happen and wept because he saw. This is what happens to every soul. This is what happened to you. Stop right here. When did you forget? What was the first moment you believed you were only the body, only the personality? Comment. One word. An age. A moment. A memory. Let's map our collective forgetting. As you descend, the 7 governors dress you. Each one gives you a tool to function in matter. But each tool becomes a trap. Watch how they wrap around you. From the moon, you received the garment of impulse. I want it now. The inability to wait. The addiction to immediate sensation. You know this garment. You're wearing it when you reach for the phone without thinking. When you eat when you're not hungry. When you buy what you don't need because the urge struck. From Mercury, you receive the garment of opinion. I'm right. The need to win. The rigid beliefs. The ego's desperate attempt to be solid. This one keeps you locked in arguments that go nowhere. In perspectives that can't evolve. In a mind that can't learn because it already knows. From Venus, you receive the garment of attachment. I need this to be happy. The clinging, the grasping, the belief that pleasure outside yourself will finally fill the void inside. This garment is silk. It feels good, but it's wrapped so tight you can't breathe. From Mars, you receive the garment of reactivity. How dare they? The instant anger, the defensiveness, the constant battle. This one turns every interaction into combat, every difference into war. From Jupiter, you receive the garment of excess. More, bigger, better. The addiction to expansion without wisdom, the overconfidence, the fool who thinks he's a king. From Saturn, you receive the garment of fear. What if I fail? What if I'm not enough? The constant anxiety, the playing small, the hiding, the heaviest garment of all. From the Sun, you receive the garment of false identity. This is who I am. The story you tell about yourself. The mask you show the world. The performance that exhausts you. This final garment makes you forget there's anything beneath it. Which garment do you feel right now? The one pressing hardest on your chest? Write one word. Impulse, opinion, attachment, reactivity, excess, fear, identity. Naming it loosens its grip. Here's how it works. It's not evil. It's just gravity. Watch the chain. Attention bends toward the beautiful thing. Natural. Doctoral. That's how consciousness explores. Passion follows attention. You start wanting what you're looking at. Passion binds. One becomes need. Need becomes must-have. What binds grows heavy. Every attachment adds weight. Heaviness forgets. The weight pulls you down until you can't remember you ever flew. You know this mechanism intimately. The scroll that was supposed to be 2 minutes. The relationship that started as freedom that became prison. The job that was temporary that's been 10 years. The pattern you swore you'd break. The promise you made to yourself that you didn't keep. Again, this is the chain, and you're wearing it right now. Every day, every moment. Trading the watcher for the watched. Trading freedom for a comfortable story. Trading consciousness for unconsciousness. Trading the real you for the false identity. But here's the secret. The golden key hidden in this tragedy. Even drowning, you can remember you're drowning. Even lost, you can realize you're lost. Even asleep, you can wake up inside the dream. That spark, the one noticing these words right now, the one aware of your own awareness, that is Nous. That is your divine nature. And it doesn't drown. It can't drown, because it's not made of matter. Water destroys bodies, but it can't touch consciousness. Fire burns flesh, but it can't burn awareness. Time ages the form, but it can't age the witness. You are not what you think you are. You are not the body. You are not the thoughts. You are not the emotions. You are the space in which all these appear. This is why every spiritual tradition points to the same truth. Know thyself, not as philosophy, as command, as the fundamental task of being human. Because when you know yourself as consciousness, as the watcher, as the fragment of divine mind playing human, everything changes. Ready to learn how to swim, ready to remember, ready to take off the garments one by one? Because now we turn around. Now we begin the journey home. The human, lost in matter, heavy with forgetting, hears a voice, not thunder, not angels, just something quiet, familiar, thought, like someone calling your real name in a crowded room. You turn, you pause, you listen, and the same light that started the cosmos, that first spark cutting through darkness, touches the corner of your eye, touches your awareness, reminds you of what you are. The water doesn't disappear, the garments don't evaporate, but something shifts. Their grip loosens. You feel space behind your thoughts, space between you and your emotions, space around your identity. You feel a clean line of speech forming in your chest, unforced, natural, .ey, true. That line? That's logos reorganizing inside you. That's the word preparing to speak your reality into new form. That's the road back. That's remembering. Enough theory, enough philosophy, enough beautiful ideas that don't change anything. Let's do it. Right now, I'm going to give you 4 moves you can use anywhere. In the car, at your desk, before a difficult conversation, in the middle of anxiety. These aren't complicated. These are simple, direct, immediate ways to begin the return. Step 1. Breath. The anchor. This is where everything begins. Breath is the bridge between conscious and unconscious, between voluntary and involuntary, between spirit and body. Take one inhale through the nose right now. Do it with me. Gentle, natural, out. Don't force it. Feel it enter your nostrils, cool at the rim. Feel it fill your lungs. Then exhale, and make this exhale slightly longer than the inhale. Count of 4 in, count of 6 out. Do 2 more, just like that. 4 in, 6 out. 4 in, 6 out. That's it. You're not chasing calm. You're clearing the fog so attention can hold shape. You're thinning the noise so you can hear the signal. Breath is the reset button. Step 2. Attention. The light. Now take the clarity that breath created and aim it. Pick one anchor. Just one thing to rest your attention on. The tip of your nose where you feel breath entering and leaving. The weight of your hands. The sensation of your feet touching the floor. Or a slow count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then start again. Don't stare. Just look. Just notice. Gently. And when you drift, and you will drift within 3 seconds, that's not failure. That's the exercise. Coming back is the rep. Noticing you drifted and returning to the anchor. That's what builds the muscle. That return is where the power lives. Step 3. Recollection. The turn. This is the pivot that changes everything. Say this inward. Speak it silently. I am not the stream. I am the one watching the stream. Feel what happens when you say that. Feel how it creates space. Feel how something unclenches. You're not your thoughts, which means you don't have to believe every thought. You're not your emotions, which means you don't have to be swept away by every feeling. You're not your fear, which means you can feel afraid and still act with courage. You're the space where all these appear. You're the screen on which the movie plays. You're the sky through which weather moves. Step 4. Articulation. The seal. Now take everything you've gathered and let it form into words. Speak one clean sentence. Out loud if you can. Under your breath if you're in public. Silently if necessary. But let it be complete. Clear. Try this. I attend to what is real, and I act from clear seeing. Say it now. Feel the words in your mouth. Feel them resonate in your chest. Or try this. Behind what I see is order, and I cooperate with it. Or create your own. Keep it short enough to sit on one breath. Keep it true enough to organize you. Keep it steady enough to hold when the day starts pulling. This sentence becomes your North Star, your reminder, your return point. Let's do this together right now. Not as thought experiment, as actual practice. Close your eyes. I'm going to be silent for 60 seconds. Use that time to move through all 4 steps. Breathe and settle. Anchor your attention. Recollect who you are. Articulate your sentence. Starting now. 60 seconds of silence. Open your eyes. How do you feel? Different? Even slightly? Maybe calmer. Maybe more present. Maybe just a little more you. That shift, that subtle change in the quality of your awareness, that's rebirth. Not once, not a dramatic enlightenment moment, but 1,000 small turns toward the light, 1,000 little rememberings. 1,000 tiny decisions to be the watcher instead of the watched. This is the work. This is the path. And it's available every moment. The text doesn't promise escape. It doesn't say you'll float to some spiritual dimension. It promises clarity, clear seeing, the ability to be present without being overwhelmed. The governors still move. Saturn still brings limits. Mars still brings conflict. Venus still brings desire. The planets keep turning. Bodies still age. Bills still come. But the chain reverses. Watch. Desire, which was blind grasping, becomes interest. Curiosity without desperation. Engagement without attachment. You can want things without being enslaved. Interest, which was scattered distraction, becomes understanding. Pattern recognition. Thought. Wisdom. Tondokshuen. Nice. The ability to see how things connect. Understanding, which was just intellectual knowledge, becomes gratitude. Real gratitude. The natural appreciation that arises when you see how perfect the design is. And gratitude becomes the natural turn toward the source. The spontaneous movement of the heart back to its origin. The recognition that everything is gift. That existence itself is grace. This is rebirth in daily life. Not in some monastery. Not after years of meditation. Right here, right now. In your messy, complicated, beautiful, difficult human life. Let's test it. Let's make this practical. A hard conversation is coming. Maybe with your boss, your partner, yourself. You feel anxiety building, old patterns activating, defenses preparing. Before you speak, before you react, one breath longer out than in. 4 in, 6 out. Anchor on your feet. Feel them on the ground. Recollect. I am not the panic. I'm the one noticing the panic. Articulate. I speak for the real, not for my fear. Then, reply. Watch what happens. Watch how much heat leaves the room when Logos arranges what Nous sees. Watch how you can disagree without being disagreeable. How you can hold ground without attacking. How you can be honest without being cruel. Or creative work. Staring at the blank page. Cursor blinking. Mind buzzing with 1,000 half-formed thoughts. Paralyzed. Frozen. The voice saying, "It's not good enough. You're not good enough. Stop. Breathe." 4 in. 6 out. Anchor on the cursor's blink. Watch it appear and disappear. Recollect, I am not the judgment. I am the space where creativity appears. Articulate one honest sentence. That's all. Not perfect. Not brilliant. Just honest. Then type it. The governors will still set limits. Time will still constrain. Saturn will still demand discipline. But now they're teachers, not prison guards. Now they're showing you the form, the structure, the container within which creativity flows. So here's the question that determines everything. Now that you know the map, now that you've seen the architecture, now that you understand the mechanism, what will you do? Because here's what happens to most people. They watch this. They feel a spark. They think, yes, this is true. This is what I've been looking for. And then they scroll. The algorithm feeds them something else. The phone buzzes, and they forget. The garments whisper their lies. This is too hard, too weird, too much. You can try later, tomorrow. You need more information first. And they go back to the stream, back to being watched instead of watcher, back to the comfortable prison. But not you. You're still here. You've made it this far. That means something. That spark in you is stronger than average. The call, you hear it more clearly. The Hermetic path isn't for the crowd. It never was. It's for the one. The individual tired of drowning. The person ready to tilt the mirror up. The consciousness that wants to remember. Take one action right now. Before you close this. Before you move on. Write your articulation sentence. Somewhere you'll see it daily. Phone lock screen. Bathroom mirror. Journal.e. Make it the first thing you see when you wake. Do the 4-step practice tomorrow morning. Set an alarm. 5 minutes. That's all. Breathe. Anchor. Recollect. Articulate. Then comment your sentence below, so we witness each other. So this isn't just you alone. So we create a field of remembering together. Because that's how this works. One person wakes up, and their clarity helps another wake up, and that person helps another. And slowly, quietly, consciousness begins recognizing itself everywhere. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. When you align attention, speech, and action, when you get those 3 forces moving in the same direction, reality responds. Not magically, not like a cosmic vending machine, but inevitably, naturally, like water flowing downhill, like seed becoming tree, like the universe recognizing itself in you and rearranging circumstances to support that recognition. The system wants you scattered, attention fragmented, speech lying, actions disconnected from values. Because scattered people are easy to control. People who don't know what they want are easy to manipulate. People who forgot their divine are easy to enslave. But a person who remembers, who's aligned, who does this practice daily, that person becomes dangerous to every system built on unconsciousness. That person becomes light in darkness. That person becomes living demonstration of what's possible when consciousness wakes to itself. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. You don't have to never get lost again. The path isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. You'll revisit the same lessons at deeper levels. You'll forget and remember and forget and remember. That's okay. That's the design. Every time you remember more deeply. Every time you return to practice, it works more powerfully. In the ancient mystery schools, they had a saying, know thyself, not as philosophical suggestion, as command, as the fundamental task, because everything else follows from that knowing. When you know yourself as consciousness, as the watcher, as fragment of divine mind playing human, everything changes. Your relationship to fear changes, to desire, to death itself, because you realize what you truly are cannot be threatened, cannot be diminished, cannot be destroyed. The body will die. The personality will dissolve. But the awareness reading these words right now that consciousness, it was never born, and it will never die. It's the eternal witness, the unchanging background, the space in which all life appears and disappears. This is what Hermes discovered. This is what Poimandres came to reveal. Not complex philosophy, not elaborate theology. Just this: you are not what you think you are. You are so much more. And remembering that, living from that, acting from that, is the purpose of human existence. Everything else, all the drama, all the suffering, all the striving, it's just backdrop. The stage, the classroom where consciousness learns about itself. If this shifted something in you, even slightly, even just a crack in the shell of forgetting, do 3 things. Subscribe, so we walk this road together. I'm creating a series on the Corpus Hermeticum, going through each text, making this wisdom practical. You don't want to miss what's coming. Second, share this with one person. Not everyone. Most aren't ready. But you know someone who is. Someone asking the same questions. Someone feeling the same pull towards something more. Send them this. Be the light that helps another light remember. Third, drop your sentence below. Make it public. Make it real. Let this community witness your commitment. Next video, we're going deeper. The other Hermetic books. The nature of mind. How rebirth actually happens at practical level. How to work with symbols and rituals without falling into superstition. How to avoid the traps most seekers fall into. The spiritual materialism, the ego inflation, getting lost in concepts instead of living truth. We're making this so practical, so grounded, so applicable that you'll have a complete system for transformation. Before we end, one final practice. This is called the inner sun, based directly on the Poimandres text. You can do this anytime. But it's especially powerful first thing in the morning or last thing at night. Close your eyes and bring attention to the center of your chest, that space behind your sternum where your heart resides. Don't force anything. Just rest attention there gently. Breathe naturally. Now imagine, or sense, or simply intend that there's a small point of light in that space. Not imaginary light, real light, the same light that appeared in Hermes' vision, the light of Nous, the light of consciousness itself. With each inhale, that light grows slightly brighter. With each exhale, it spreads slightly wider. You're not making this happen. You're remembering what's already there. You're recognizing the divine spark that's been there your whole life, waiting to be noticed. Let that light fill your chest. Let it expand into your shoulders, down your arms, into your hands. Let it fill your belly, your hips, your legs, your feet. Let it rise into your throat, your face, your head, until your entire body is glowing with this inner light. You are the sun. You are the central fire. You are the organizing principle. And from this light, this warmth, this clarity, you can face whatever the day brings. Not as victim, not as someone hoping to survive, but as sovereign being, as fragment of the divine, as someone who knows what they truly are. Hold that awareness for just 1 minute. Let it stabilize. Let it become familiar. This is your natural state. This is what you are beneath all the garments, all the forgetting, all the conditioning. This is home, and you can return here anytime, with a breath, with a moment of recollection, with the simple question, who is aware right now? The answer is always the same. The light, the witness, the consciousness that cannot be touched by anything appearing within it. When you're ready, take a deep breath and open your eyes. But try to maintain a thread of that awareness. Try to remember that light as you move through your day. Let it inform your actions. Let it guide your speech. Let it remind you who you really are. This practice, done daily, will change your life more than 1,000 books or 100 seminars. Because it's not about getting more information. It's about remembering what you already are. You are not the stream. You are the one who can watch it. You are not the garments. You are the one who can remove them. You are not the thoughts. You are the space in which thoughts appear. You are not the body. You are the consciousness that animates the body. You are not separate from the source. You are the source, temporarily pretending to be separate so it can experience itself from a particular point of view. Remember, return, repeat. These are the 3 R's of Hermetic practice. Remember what you are. Return to that awareness when you forget. Repeat the practice until remembering becomes natural, until return becomes automatic, until you're living from that awareness more often than you're lost in forgetting. The governors will keep turning. The world will keep presenting challenges. The body will age. Circumstances will change. But through all of it, there can be a steady witness, clear light, a consciousness that knows itself. And that consciousness is you. Not the small you, not the ego, not the personality, but the real you, the eternal you, the you that was never born and will never die. This is the message of Poimandres. This is the gift Hermes received and passed down through centuries, hidden in texts, encoded in symbols, whispered from teacher to student. And now it's yours, not to collect, not to just know about, but to live, to embody, to become. So the question isn't whether this is true. The question is, will you act on it? Will you do the practice? Will you make the turn? Will you begin the journey of return? Or will you let this moment pass? Let this spark fade. Let the forgetting continue. The choice is yours. But the path is clear. The map is in your hands. The light is in your chest. And the journey begins with a single breath, a single moment of attention, a single act of remembering. Welcome home.